Welcome to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO as I like to call it. Perhaps one of the only competitive FPS games still around, CSGO sets out to ease newcomers into the anal-raping, grind fuckfest of bullet-firing bandito terrorists many PC gamers have come to respect and love. I wonder why newcomers always had a hard time joining the Counter-Strike community. If you're unfamiliar with Counter-Strike at this stage of your gaming career, I'm obligated by internet law to call you a faggot and further perpetuate the idea that you have even less than no life. Allow me to explain what Counter-Strike is if you don't know. CSGO is an arcade tactical shooter that pits terrorists and counter-terrorist forces against one another. Objectives vary from arming and defusing bombs, rescuing helpless hostages, and shooting the other team as many times as humanly possible. In all seriousness though, you probably already had a good idea of what Counter-Strike was all about, and CSGO is no different in its core elements. It's still the same old tried and true gal we've come to know and love and get butt-fucked by every Tuesday night, but what the hell, we enjoyed it anyway. CSGO is the first real experimental step for the series after 3 other titles. CSGO attempts to separate the casual gamer, the newcomer, and the seasoned veteran, and for the most part succeeds in doing so. For newbies, CSGO offers more contemporary game mode standards, such as gun game and smaller demolition maps, which are faster paced, more straightforward, and just generally easy to get into. These modes are not the meat of CSGO, however, and they really only serve to hold a quivering 11-year-old's hand as he gets his balls blown off by a 10-year experienced AWPer. Fun stuff. For casual gamers looking to get their feet wet in the blood-soaked world of Deagles and AK-47s, CSGO offers a casual mode that really is no different than its competitive mode, side of 1 or 2 minor gameplay differences. Casual games are populated by anyone at all who looks to join a game. Competitive matches are usually fought by 2 teams of 5 comprised mostly of friends in a lobby. It's possible to join a competitive server as a random, but it's usually discouraged if you suck at the game. Casual mode allows average players to experience Counter-Strike in all of its glory. All of the classic maps, like Dust and Inferno, return with a new level of detail and flair. Most of the classic maps have also been tweaked to help relieve choke points and stalemate areas. This does mean some veterans may need to rethink strategies and attack routes even on familiar maps, but the changes are minimal and don't damage the delicate balance of these classic beauties. A good chunk of the classic CS weapons make a return as well, including the AK-47, 2 versions of the M4, a Desert Eagle, and AWP. Some new weapons have made a first appearance as well, such as a sawn-off shotgun and Molotov cocktails. These were advertised to drastically alter the way matches would be played out, but mostly their effects are minimal. At their most effective, Molotovs can temporarily cut off a narrow path, and a good shotgun-wielding terrorist can hold down a hallway for a bit, but other than that, gameplay remains fairly unchanged from previous titles. If anything, it's more refined and tweaked than anything else, but it should be considering the years behind the series. With only passable new game modes and several new maps, what makes CSGO worth all the attention it's getting? Maps were never in short supply with any Valve game, and it's really no different than its predecessors. Well, it's the timing. There's something magnanimously wonderful about learning to play Counter-Strike for the first time or revisiting it with friends and this fresh coat of paint. Unlike Counter-Strike's source, CSGO sets out to reimagine the Counter-Strike image. It sets out to make it a friendlier place for newcomers and an easier place for old friends to get together and rape some noobs. There's no progressive leveling up or unlock system, there's no distinct reward for playing longer than someone else, and there's no reason to keep coming back for more when you've gotten your head blown clean off for the 208th time. But for some stupid reason, FPS fans always do. The shooting is simplistic and clean. It walks a crisp and delicate line between player skill and universal luck in every shootout. And when you're off by just that much, it sets off a spark in you saying that you can nail that bastard next time, and that's what keeps you glued to the keyboard. As Michael Murrell said in his Counter-Strike source review, game designers of today could learn a thing or two from this respected senior of gaming. Sometimes it's best to stick to the basics. Get some friends, buy some guns, and bathe in the astonishingly simple miracle that is Counter-Strike. At a price lower than its source counterpart, CSGO is a reminder of how multiplayer shooters should be done. It's about the core mechanics, and the sweet, sweet satisfaction of that first kill in the match. It's time the big budget games of today, like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and all the others, take a good, hard look at what true shooters are. And I'm talking about Counter-Strike when I say that. We veered from the path that CS has laid out for us, and we might need to steer ourselves back in the right direction a bit. No more microtransactions and paid-for DLC. It's time we go back to the basics, and CSGO is the closest we can get to that today.